Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at this trading hall. This trading hall is set up to where we can get perfect trades rather easily. Now there is a difference between better trades, which you get from turning a zombie villager into a villager. You'll get better trades, but in order to get perfect trades, we got to take it a step further. Some of these guys are going to require to be turned into a zombie villager and then back into a villager 4 or 5 times to get perfect trades. So before we get into the build, we're going to go over each villager and see all the perfect trades that we could possibly get. So let's start with everyone's favorite, the librarian. This is where you're going to get all your enchanting books. Here you can see we have a mending trade for 1 emerald and 1 book, which is outstanding. Other trades of note would be this name tag here for 1 emerald. That's really good. Cartograph is pretty decent. You get the paper trade for 1 piece of paper, 1 emerald. Sometimes you can get maps for woodlands, mansions, or shipwrecks. Pretty cool. Fisherman, got the coal trade here, which is good. And until 1.16 anyway, a fish farm is probably the most potent way to get emeralds. Toolsmith is really good. We have iron trade. If you have an iron farm, it's good. But mainly, we want the tools. You can get all the tools in the game. This one, however, doesn't have the pickaxe. So in some cases, you may need 2 of these guys to make sure you have all the tools covered. Next up is the mason. Mason is really good for getting rid of your granite, diorite, andesite. All these 1 for 1 with emeralds, really good. You could also do stone, but stone is a little more useful. And then also this is where you get your quartz, so nice to have. The Weaponsmith. We got the iron trade here. Another axe trade. And the most important one would be the sword. Sometimes you can get a really good sword here. And as a perfect trade, of course, it's 1 emerald, which is great. The cleric here, 1 zombie flesh for 1 emerald. You get your redstone and your lapis here as well. Also the glowstone and the nether wart and ender pearls. These are a lot of good trades. You should have a couple clerics around. The farmer is really good for getting emeralds. Carrots and potatoes are probably the best. 1 for 1. Gotta love that. Don't even bother with melons and pumpkins. They're really useless. And then, of course, the golden carrot trade, which is outstanding. One of the best food sources in the game. The shepherd, there's really not much here. I wouldn't suggest having a shepherd around. Maybe if you have a sheep farm or something like that, but not that great. The Fletcher, however, really good. This sticks trade when you're starting out is outstanding. 1 stick for 1 emerald is great. Also, if you have a spider farm, the string is good for turning in for emeralds. Also, we got our bows, our crossbows, and tipped arrows. You gotta have a couple Fletchers around, they're really good. Leatherworker, decent. You have a cow farm, this is decent. You can also get saddles, 1 emerald, pretty good. The butcher, he has the coal trade. And he also has a sweetberry trade. So if you have a sweetberry farm, and you know how much they can produce, then this is a good source of emeralds as well. Last but not least, we have the armorer. Probably the best one. We got the iron trade, and then we have the full set of diamond enchanted gear for 1 emerald apiece, which is unbelievable. Overpowered, because this is really good. All right, now that we understand how the perfect trades work, let's take a little bit of a look at this system and see how it's going to make our life so much easier. So this thing runs all off the villager breeder, which is up top. When the villagers up there breed, the baby comes out and he will stay in a certain location until he grows up. As soon as he grows up, he will come drop down in front of the zombie, which will turn him into a zombie villager. What that means is whenever this machine is powered on, this will autofill for you. So you can just AFK or go build somewhere pretty close, and you're going to come back to a fully stocked trading hall with zombie villagers ready for you to do whatever you want to do. So we go to the power button here. When it's off, any baby villagers will be burned in the lava and no more will breed because they won't be getting fed anymore. When we turn it on, villagers will be fed every 5 minutes, just enough to breed. So there's not any food waste. You're not going to have to constantly refill these dispensers. When the baby drops, he will sit right here in this little air block until he grows up. Then he'll come up here and drop down in front of the zombie. Let me show you how. So let's say that's a baby that just grew up. He's going to come up here, hit that tripwire, which is going to stick him in front of this zombie. The zombie turns him. And then a moment later, he drops down, gets splashed with the potion of weakness, and now he'll go to the first available slot. He's chasing after this villager. So now he's in the first available slot. We give him a golden apple, and that starts it up. Now we just have to wait for him to turn into a villager, and we can do it again. So how do we do it again? Well, let's try it on this cleric. So all we're going to do is punch this note block that's in front of him. The water stream will come down and pick him up. And that'll bring him up to the top water stream. Shut that off. And now the same thing will happen. He'll hit a tripwire and be put in front of the zombie. The zombie will turn him. And then a moment later, he drops down, splashed with the potion, and goes right back to his chamber. You'll never have a problem with villagers getting mixed up as long as you do one at a time. If you try to do a bunch of them at a time, they're going to get mixed up. They're going to fall into the same hole. Just do one at a time and you'll never have a problem. Even if you wanted to do one on the other side, this guy will get picked up and this villager will transfer over to this side. So now when our new villager becomes a zombie, he's going to go back to the right instead of the left and be able to go back to his cubbyhole. Now he's being turned. Yeah, and you can do this as many times as you like. It is a little bit expensive with golden apples and potions, but when it's finished, and it's going to be extremely worth it, as you've already seen. And he goes back to his home. Yeah, they'll always return to the same spot as long as you're doing it one at a time. So that's it. Very easy way to get perfect trades. Oh, let's take a look at one more thing. Let's say that the system is completely full, you forgot to shut it off, or you were AFK or off building somewhere. Well, the system's going to continue to produce zombie villagers. And what's going to happen is all the new zombie villagers that don't have a home to fall into, they're going to go all the way over into our minecart villager. And when they get one block in front of them, they're just going to burn to death. That's going to control population so there's not 100, zombie villagers walking on the platform, while you're AFK or off building or whatever. So that's a pretty handy little overfill feature that I've added in. As far as the potions go, this is something we'll talk about in the tutorial, but when you're initially starting out and you turn the machine on and you're letting it fill, you're not going to want to have potions in the system if you're not going to be there to give them golden apples. That's just a waste. So you'll take all the potions out and then let the system fill, and then when you're in front of the system working, that's when you can keep the potions in there. It becomes a lot more handy when you're resending them up to become zombies again. That way you don't have to keep splashing them manually. But that's it, guys. I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely subscribe and turn on your notifications and you'll know exactly when the tutorial for this drops. It's May 25th now, so we're looking at about May 27th or so, and the tutorial will be out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.